Welcome again to one of the most enthralling Science Scamper sessions for classes 6 to 8 by EduCatUp, and I am your super science teacher Ambika. At EduCatUp, we always empower all our students as how to think and not what to think. So if you want to experience the same, then do ensure to subscribe the EduCatUp YouTube channel. The subscription button is given below, guys. If you like our video, don't forget to press the like button and do ensure to hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates from EduCatUp. Children, during the video, you can post your comments, feedback, questions and queries, and I will get back to you definitely. Now let's start today's session. The topic for the day is water. Water is something without which none of us can imagine our life. It is something without which there is no survival. Plants, animals, birds, human beings, everybody requires water. And the usage of water is unending list. But still, we are facing many issues related to water, like water pollution, scarcity of water, less rainfall. But still, the need of water is there. So in this chapter, we are going to study a lot about water. So let's see what will be covered in this module. So we are going to cover like water is essential for life. Then where do we get water from? Water cycle, that is evaporation, condensation, formation of clouds, back to oceans, groundwater, floods, droughts, how to conserve water, and rooftop rainwater harvesting. So now let's start the session. Water is essential for life, definitely. There is no question about it. For human beings, why water is so essential? Because there are certain things which is only done by water in our body. 70% of our body weight is actually due to water. So if there is deficiency of water in our body will become turbulent. Body temperature is also maintained by water content inside our body. Then transportation of materials and nutrients is also done by water, and toxic wastes from our body is also removed with the help of water in the form of sweat and urine. अगर आप पानी नहीं पी रहे हैं ज़्यादा तो आपको पसीना भी उतना नहीं आएगा, प्लस आप यूरिनेशन के लिए भी नहीं जाएंगे, तो आपकी बॉडी से जो वेस्ट और हार्मफुल या टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस हैं वो बाहर निकल ही नहीं पाएंगे. So that is why. Water is essential for life, even for plants. In case of plants, germination of seeds and their growth. If you sow a seed in the soil, you need to provide water to the seed. बिना पानी दिए seed grow नहीं कर सकता. That is something we all know. So water is extremely essential for the germination of the seed and for its growth. Transportation of nutrients from the soil. You know that roots absorb nutrients from the soil. But after roots, that nutrients have to move in the plant. That is done with the help of water. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process of making food by the plants, and water is one of the essential components without which photosynthesis will not take place. Now, other uses of water, if we talk about the other uses of water, so definitely domestic purposes like washing clothes, bathing, drinking. It is required in unending ways in our domestic usage. Then in agricultural purposes, that is for growing of crops. Then producing electricity, and the electricity produced by water is known as hydroelectricity. The word hydro is used for water. So this is very important, children. You should know the water which is produced with the help of the electricity which is produced with the help of water is known as hydroelectricity. Then it is also used in industries and in vehicles as a coolant. इंडस्ट्रीज़ में, फैक्ट्रीज़ में मशीन्स को ठंडा करने के लिए उनके यूज़ के बाद, एंड इवन इन व्हीकल्स इंजन को ठंडा करने के लिए हम पानी का यूज़ करते हैं. सो दीज आर सम अदर यूजेस. नाउ it's time for some action-packed info, guys, and you should know about it. The Earth's 2/3 or 70% surface is covered with water. You can imagine that maximum portion of our planet Earth is covered with water, and that is why it is also known as blue planet. But still we always encounter the problem that there is water scarcity, पानी की कमी है, पानी बचाइए, पानी waste नहीं करना चाहिए. But I want to know that when we have 70% surface of Earth is covered with water, then why we are in the need of saving the water? Why we are in the need that we have the scarcity of water? Because of another action-packed info, that is seawater that is having a very high salt content, and that high salt content sea water or saline water is unfit for human consumption, for plants, for animals. Seas and oceans में जो भी पानी है वो हमारे किसी भी काम का नहीं है, because उसमें जो salt का content है वो बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. आप उसे पीने के लिए, खाना बनाने के लिए, घर के काम करने के लिए, इंडस्ट्रीज़ में, एग्रीकल्चर में, प्लांट्स को ग्रो करने के लिए उसे कहीं भी यूज़ नहीं कर सकते हैं. एंड दैट इज़ वाई having 70% surface of earth covered with water is still not helping us, because उसमें से ज़्यादातर पानी seas and oceans में है जो कि saline water है, having a high salt content. The water which we people use for our purposes is actually known as fresh water. And the percentage of fresh water on this planet Earth is very limited. Now let's see further. Where do we get water from? That is basically the sources of fresh water. ऐसा पानी जिसे हम अपने यूसेज के लिए आराम से इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. River, spring, pond, well and hand pump. Spring means झरना. So from all these sources we get fresh water, and that fresh water can be used for all the things, the uses which we have discussed. Then water in taps usually come from river. This is something we all know. At your home you must have a water connection. Now the water connection can be in two ways. Either you have a summer pump at your home and you are utilizing the groundwater, and the other connection is from the municipality of the city which provides water from the nearby river. So every city has a supply from a river, and that water runs maybe in taps for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. So basically the water in the taps is actually supplied from the river, the nearby river from your city. Now the water cycle. Water cycle is basically having 4 steps, as you can see. The first is evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection, and we are going to study each one of them in quite detail. The first is evaporation. As the name suggests, evaporation is conversion of liquid water into water vapor. You can just see this is your liquid water, and it is being shown that because of the sunlight it is being converted into water vapor. So this is evaporation. Conversion of liquid water to water vapor, that is the gaseous state. Now, in case of evaporation, we can see evaporation in many other cases as well. Like for example, you can see evaporation in case of clothes drying on a clothesline. At your home, after washing the clothes, you all put your wet or damp clothes on the clothesline and they get dry in sunlight. How it happens? It happens because of evaporation. The rays of the sun falls on your damp or wet clothes, and the water which is present or absorbed by the clothes gets converted into water vapor, and they start becoming dry. Now the next question is that evaporation of water in sunlight and in shade. At which place the evaporation of water will be faster, in sunlight or in shade? The answer is but obvious, in sunlight, because in shade water is not getting that warmth or high temperature so that it can be converted to water vapor. पानी liquid water water vapor में कब convert होता है? जब उसको ज़्यादा high temperature मिलता है, hotness मिलती है, गर्माहट मिलती है, और वो उसको सिर्फ sun rays से मिलती हैं. तो जब वो open में रखा हुआ होगा तो sun की rays उस पर directly आएंगी, तो water vapor डायरेक्टली फॉर्म होगा, जल्दी फॉर्म होगा और इवेपोरेशन होगा. अगर वो शेड में रखा हुआ है तो डायरेक्ट सनरेज नहीं आ रही हैं, सो इट विल टेक अ लॉन्गर टाइम. Alright, transpiration. Transpiration is loss of water by plants. This is also a form of evaporation, and this happens from the leaves of the plants. So plants also participate in evaporation. Condensation. Condensation is the conversion of water vapor to liquid water on cooling. That means कि जो evaporation से water vapor बना था वो वापस से liquid water में convert हो जाएगा जब कम temperature होगा या ठंडा या ज़्यादा ठंडक होगी, cooling होगी. So that is known as condensation, the second step of your water cycle. Now this condensation has a very important aspect in water cycle, and that is formation of clouds. For the formation of clouds, that means the water vapor moves up and undergoes condensation so that clouds can be formed. see how it happens. Suppose this is a river in which there was water, and this was your sun, and sun rays were falling on this river. What will happen? The liquid water will start warming up and it will convert to water vapor, right? So water vapor. Now, as this water vapor rises up and reaches to a higher altitude, over there, the weather is quite cold. So, what will happen? In that cold weather, the temperature is also low. So, these water vapors will start converting again to liquid water droplets. Liquid water drops. Now these liquid water drops starts combining and fusing with each other, and what will form? The cloud. So that is how cloud formation takes place. Now this is the third step, which is precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall. These tiny droplets come together to form larger drops, and when these larger drops become heavy, the cloud becomes heavy, it bursts open and the rain falls. This is the third step, which we call as precipitation. After this, some action-packed info, guys, very important, pay attention. Fog in winters is also a result of condensation. सर्दियों में जो आपको कोहरा दिखाई देता है सुबह या शाम के वक्त या रात के वक्त या धुंध दिखाई देता है, बेसिकली ऑन हिल स्टेशंस और ऑन अ वेरी कोल्ड वेदर सिटीज, that is also because of condensation. Condensation means the conversion of water vapor to liquid droplets on cooling. Let's move ahead. Now back to oceans. This is your fourth step of water cycle, children, which is actually we call as collection. That is collection of water. Now how this water is again collected and reaches to, water sources. Snow in mountains melts, then river falls into seas and oceans, and even some rainwater seeps into the ground. So groundwater. So बारिश हो रही है तो कुछ पानी रिवर्स में जाता है, पॉन्ड्स में जाता है, कुछ नॉर्मल सॉइल पे गिरता है, वो नीचे पहुंच जाता है सॉइल के, तो वो ग्राउंड वाटर बन जाता है. जो माउंटेन्स पे स्नो होती है वो मेल्ट होती है, तो वो भी रिवर्स में और सीज में जाती है, उससे उनका लेवल राइज होता है. सो दैट इज हाउ द वाटर इज अगेन कलेक्टेड एंड रीचेस टू द सोर्सेज. नाउ अगेन द फर्स्ट स्टेप विल हैपन, दैट इज इवेपोरेशन, देन कंडेंसेशन, देन प्रेसिपिटेशन, देन कलेक्शन. अगेन, सो इट्स अ साइकिल एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज नोन एज वाटर साइकिल. All right, let's move ahead. Groundwater. Now, open wells, lakes and hand pumps or tube wells are fed by groundwater. Groundwater is actually the water which is present inside the ground. It is replenished and it can be replenished only by rainfall. If there are no rains, groundwater level will automatically go down, which is an alarming situation. So, आपको कुएं में जो पानी दिखाई देता है वो एक्चुअली में ग्राउंड वाटर है. हैंडपम्प या ट्यूबवेल से जो पानी आप निकालते हैं वो भी ग्राउंड वाटर है, और वो किससे रिप्लेनिश होता है? सिर्फ रेनफॉल से. लेट्स मूव अहेड. व्हाट इफ इट रेन्स हेवीली? अगर बहुत ज़्यादा बारिश होती है तो क्या होगा? द सिचुएशन विल बी कॉल्ड एज floods. There will be waterlogging. A lot of water will be filled and crammed up in the complete city. It is a very destructive situation. A lot of public property is being destructed. People get stuck. A lot of epidemics and diseases spreads out. So very dangerous situation. Now, what happens if it does not rain at all? अगर बिल्कुल बारिश नहीं होती है या बहुत कम बारिश होती है, then what will happen? Then there will be situation of drought. सूखा पड़ जाएगा, पीने के लिए पानी नहीं होगा, एनिमल्स के पास पानी नहीं होगा पीने के लिए. They will die. There will be no crop production. क्रॉप्स नहीं उगाए जा सकेंगे, एग्रीकल्चर नहीं होगा. Again, a very disastrous situation should not ever happen. Now, how we can conserve water? See, conservation of water does not mean that you should not use water. कंजर्व करने का मतलब ये कभी नहीं होता है कि पानी को यूज़ करना बंद कर दें. इट ओनली मीन्स दैट यू शुड यूज़ वाटर जुडिशियसली, वाइजली. आप उसको ऐसे इस्तेमाल करें कि वो आगे के लिए भी रहे, आप अपना काम भी कर लें और वो वेस्ट ना हो. दैट इज कंजर्वेशन ऑफ वाटर. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू वॉन्ट टू वॉश योर हैंड्स, generally what people do, they open the tap, they wet their hands, apply the soap, and the tap is running. There is no need of doing that. You can open the tap, you can wash your hands and close it off, then apply the soap and then again open the tap. So that much water which could be running while you are applying the soap can be saved. Now for example, if you have done cleaning in your house and there the water is remaining, you can use it in the kitchen garden rather than just throwing it off. So some basic things you have to remember, and you can conserve a lot of water, right? Now, rooftop rainwater harvesting. Now, as the name suggests, rainwater harvesting, that means storing and utilizing rainwater for future use. This particular process is called rainwater harvesting. Now, the method of doing this rainwater harvesting is known as rooftop rainwater harvesting. बारिश के पानी को इकट्ठा करना और फिर उसको फ्यूचर में यूटिलाइज करना, that is called as rainwater harvesting. How do we do that? Let's have a look on the screen. You all can see this is a house, and on the roof a tank has been made. This is the tank. In this tank, obviously, the rainwater will be collected whenever there will be rainfall. And you can see from here, pipelines are being connected and a pump is there, so that water can be sent to different places. See, they have so many water connections. What they are exactly doing, barish hui, rain is there, they have collected the water, then they have made the pipelines and they are supplying the water which has been collected by rain for different purposes. For example, कहीं पे ground water का level बढ़ाने में लगे हैं, कहीं पे car wash के लिए, कहीं पे garden के लिए, कहीं पे save कर रहे हैं. So that is all what they are doing. The other way can be that they can directly put the complete rainwater into the ground, and then the groundwater can be utilized. And one way can be that it can be supplied for different purposes at the same time. So it depends on the person that how he or she has to utilize the rainwater. But rainwater harvesting is a very economical and a very judicious way of using rainwater. One should always try to do that. Even if you don't have the tank kind of a facility at your home, you can use it with the buckets also. Whenever there is rainfall, keep some buckets at your rooftop so that they can fill with rainwater and then utilize that water. At least few of the buckets you can save and you can store it. So do that, children. Alright, now let's move ahead. Alright, so with this we have come to one of the most amazing Science Scamper series session, and I hope you all have subscribed, liked and pressed the bell icon for the latest updates from Educateup. Now it's time for me to sign out, but before that I just want to say, till the time we meet again, be happy, be safe and keep enriching yourself with Educateup. Children, also ensure that if you put your feedback and if you have any queries, any questions, you can put them in the comment box. Your super science teacher Ambika will get back to you. Bye-bye.